What is up, my pedigree chums? So trying a little bit of different stuff today. Firstly, I have got headphones on so I can hear myself, primarily because I kept on recording videos and they kept on having buggered up audio and it was getting really frustrating for me. So yeah, you'll just have to forgive me for the earphones. Once I finally get a setup where I'm 100% trusting that this works properly, I'll probably lose the headphones. I've also got them back to front because the cable from my PC to my head, I gain these few extra inches by not having it to here. So if I do my stereo imaging there, I don't even know if I'm actually sort of recording this in stereo or... Anyway, certainly it's back to front for me, but whatever. Anyway, today what I'm planning on doing is basically setting up a podcast and hopefully guiding you through it. Now, I've done this before, but I mean, I think it was in 2009 or something, so it's not exactly fresh in my memory. So this will be a reasonable look at how the process goes. So first of all, I should say that I'm just going to reuse the account that I had many moons ago on Blueberry. I think it's pronounced Blueberry. It's spelled Blubrry, I think, because that was cool back then. And I'm going to go on my WordPress website, install the bits and bobs, and then show you how we link that up, assuming it all goes swimmingly. So anyway, with no further ado, let's crack on. So let me just quickly make it so you can see what I'm doing. Might zoom this in a bit because I think you're going to struggle to see on that one. No idea if you can see that. We will see. I might end up taking this off and redoing this if you can't. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. The problem is now it's like eating at my beautiful face, and I know that you want to see that. Okay, right. So the first thing to do here is go log in. I'm not going to show you all the logging in because that's just if you're trying to add a podcast to your WordPress and you don't know how to get to the dashboard of your website, then I'm afraid that I am too advanced for you. If that's the case, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do about getting to this point. But anyway, add new plugin. So we can go BLUBRY and PowerPress podcasting plugin by Blueberry. This is the one. So you can see 60,000 active installations. It's the one. So we're going to install that bad boy. We'll see how fast this goes. Hopefully relatively fast. Installed. Activate. Sweet. Right. We won't bother reading that just now, but let's see if we can find this on the side here. PowerPress. Spotify submissions and Google Podcast announcements. Yeah, good. We won't bother going for advanced mode just yet. Start your podcast in 3 easy steps. Fill out the settings on this page. Create a blog post with an episode. Submit your podcast to iTunes and other podcast directories. Integrate Blueberry services. Track your podcast. Download Blueberry's free basic statistics. Or upload and publish podcast media directly from your blog. Remove statistics from WordPress dashboard. Program title. I don't know if this is what it's going to end up being called, but I was talking to my friend Eddie the other day and I said something around the fact that I feel like I am averagely good at a bunch of stuff and no one's interested about being average, and he said maybe that's an idea for a thing there. Anyway, let's have a little look. I would recommend that if you're doing this, that you should definitely put a little bit more consideration into this. But we'll go with this for now. I'm thinking of it on the fly as well. Probably should have. I mean, the problem is that I wanted to do a realistic first run through, so I didn't want to have a script and bang through it and know everything straight off the bat, because that's not really a real life reflection on what will happen. iTunes program subtitle. Which is basically what needs to go in the next box. So we'll take this out, put this in here. I mean, whatever, I'm sure I'll come back to this and think of something a little bit better in the future. iTunes category required. See, this is really hard because I'm just going to be gabbering on about any old random crap. Let's say... See, I think it's going to be humorous. I hope it's going to be humorous, but it's not going to be education. It's not going to be self-help, news or politics. I'm just going to go for technology because I'm probably going to be working in technology. I don't know. iTunes explicit. No options. That's required. Let's put clean to start with, and we never know, I might end up dropping some serious expletives, and then I'll change it obviously because I don't want to I'll change your email, this email address when your podcast is accepted. If you're watching this video and you think it would be funny to email me on that email address, please don't. iTunes type, episodic, artwork. Oh, I haven't done any artwork. iTunes images must be at least 1400, and iTunes image must not exceed 3000. A square 3000. This image is for your listing there. Oh my god. So it should update your image on iTunes. Okay, so this isn't supposed to be a designer course, but we'll quickly knock out some kind of cover image. What did it say? 3000 by 3000. Right. I can hear what sounds like an emergency services vehicle outside, which is a bit disconcerting, but right. If you want to know about publisher, what are we in? Designer. Let me know in the comments, but that is not for today. My favorite font of the moment, products, and where are we? Oh my god. I assure you that I would typically spend more time and make this better if I wasn't trying to record this live so that you guys could actually see it. But at the same time, if you're thinking to yourself, oh god, I don't know how to do a podcast, then, you know, you can bang something out pretty quick. We're going all Web 2.0 on this mofo. Right. Ooh, this is horrifying, but it is what it is. I feel like later on I will definitely put a little picture of me like going or something like that. This will do for now. It's a little bit of JPEG, didn't it? Right. Seems big. Right, let's head back to this. Upload new image. Right. That was laborious. Right, display media links, display content here, default, whatever. Having issues, now everything is working fine. Advanced options, import podcasts. Custom podcast. Manage multiple media files and or formats to one block. I think we're just going to go with the default stuff to start with. Link below Blueberry account. Yes. Alright, I'm going to move this off the screen so that I can do it without you fools jacking me. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that that worked. Save the changes. Right. I feel like the fan on my computer is oscillating or something. I don't know if you can hear that, but weird. God, I'm really not a fan of that title, but it is what it is. Let's go into here and see whether that's made that for us. No, this is like an old podcast that doesn't exist anymore. This is from when I said that I'd made one before. That is true, but it was in, I think the last episode was 2009, so yeah. So maybe I have to upload a import podcast. I don't want to import a podcast from any of these. I want to upload one. Migrate media. To migrate all your media to Blu-ray with only a few clicks. Tools. What are these advanced ones? Is the advanced, does this, I don't want to import. No, apparently I can't not do. Does that, I don't, did this work? It said it worked. I don't want to do it again then. Well, we have come to a somewhat of an impasse. So hang on. If I make a new post, we are not going to publish anything. Don't you worry, people. And I still haven't entirely gotten used to Gutenberg. Widgets. Embed. Dailymotion. Yeah. I feel like because I'm so zoomed in as well, I'm missing stuff off the bottom here, but maybe not. I'm sure if I'd read the instructions, it would tell me. Let's use column blocks. This must be exciting for you watchers. Video press. That I guess is not the one. Where has that gone? At least it's being nice and snappy. Not. Import parcel. It must be on it, surely. Import from a specific import from anywhere else. Migrate your media to. I don't want to send media there. Another plugin. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Audio player. Oh, I'm hiding from you. That looks alright.
Media Element JS is an open source HTML5 audio and video player.
That's fine. We'll keep that then. Media Element. Which is fine. What is going right? Power users, blah 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 blah. Can I see the post Spotify? Blah 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 blah. What the? I just want to add an episode title. This is not what it used to be like. Right. I remember I used to FTP the MP3 to a folder, but how we actually use this at this point. Anyway, this is getting boring, so what I might do is come back to this when I figure out how to do it. There's nothing I like more than wasting both your and my time. Okay, so when last we spoke was about a week ago, and I could not figure out what I was doing with this podcast thing. I'll just put that down to brain fade. So basically, between then and now, I figured out what the problem was. I got Blueberry to delete the old one of my podcasts, which was showing up in there. And I recorded like a little intro to this podcast, which isn't even really a thing at this point. So what I'll do now is pick up from where we were. Like, I've done nothing on the back end of this site. Since then, I did some updates for some plugins, but nothing to do with the podcast aspect. So we literally pick up from where that last one started, just that I have now got a small podcast to upload. Haven't actually uploaded the MP3 file, which I'll do now whilst we're filming. And I also don't know how this is going to work in terms of when I do that and go through the post, which I'll show you how to do now that I've figured out how to do it, whether that's actually going to put it into Blueberry's like back end and it will show up and then get put into iTunes, blah 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 blah. But I noticed there's a little thing here that says submit your podcast to iTunes and other podcast directories. So hopefully that will take us on that journey of extreme podcast fun. So anyway, without any further ado, let's see if we can get CyberDuck up. So I use CyberDuck to get onto the back end of my site. You might use FTP, FileZilla, however you're doing it, or you might do it through some thing on your hosting platform. You can see that I've got a folder on here under podcasts for my my website. So then I'll find the podcast. Here it is. I've made it episode 0 because it is just going to be an introduction to my podcast. If there's anyone who cares about how to record a podcast or an MP3 as a podcast is, let me know. But realistically, it's pretty easy. I just used Audacity, which is free. Google it. And recorded something using the exact same microphone that I'm doing now. So anyway, all I'm going to do there is drag it onto this file directory. That little noise of the thing saying, are you sure that this is secure, blah blah blah. Yes it is. So now that file is there. One way we can double check that that is the case is that we can, I'll just do this out of shot. Where is it? This is taking a little bit longer than I expected, but I was trying to make a point that really doesn't matter. Right, so you can see, we won't listen to it, but you can see that this is the URL reflected in here, and this podcast is here. But the file, anyway, it's not a podcast yet, it's just an MP3 on a web server, which is all well and good. Let me just get it so I can see what I'm doing again. So that just proves that that's there. Once we establish this is how we do it, we're not going to have to bugger around quite so much, assuming this still works. But so far as I'm concerned, I'm happy that that is on my website now, on my web hosting, I should say. It's not linked to a site or anything. So what I was doing wrong before was basically just not scrolling down far enough. If we go into posts, add a new post. Goodness me, the traffic that goes past my house makes some really strange sounds. We'll just make it. Excuse me, my throat is causing me all kinds of problems. Right, so basically, I just didn't scroll down to here before. So this, I just copied and pasted that URL that we had before, which is where it is. Verify URL. Media verified successfully. Auto detect size, auto detect everything. I'm not sure that this is going to show up anywhere on my website because I don't have that. Let's make it under personal for now. This is stuff that if you're making a website just for a podcast or you're doing it for a purpose, you probably can figure this out a lot better than I'm doing. I'm kind of making a podcast because I just want to play with the technology and I want to test it out and I want to make a video for you guys. So not really the best basis on which to plan all this stuff out. Right, so not really going to do much else with this at this point. Obviously you should put picture in there and do all your SEO stuff to try and make your post get as much traffic as possible, but for now we're just going to go with this just to check this all working. If we preview it, what do we get? Literally nothing happens in there. Not the most exciting preview I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. Let's press publish and see what happens, shall we? Are you ready to publish? Visibility public, publisher media, suggest tags. Now, I'm assuming that this is not going to, I don't think, I suppose you would be able to get it. But I mean, my website's not super hot. My personal website's not super high traffic anyway, so it's not like I'm causing some crazy SEO nightmare, hopefully. If you know better, let me know. But this takes forever as well. Right, so now, does this anything come up in Blueberry? That's what I'm interested about. Because so far I haven't done anything in here. Right. Let's have a little looky. So we saw that bit. Change them may not be saved. I think they should be. Wow. The back end of this site is significantly slower than the front end. One of my mates hosts this for me, so I can't complain, and B, maybe there's a reason for that. So I'll speak to him about it at some point. All right, submit your podcast to iTunes and other directories. Welcome. You're hosting with us. A quick reminder that is easy. Blah, 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 blah. Your podcast feed URL is before you submit. Yeah, we've done that. We've done. We must have an active Apple ID to submit podcasts, which is fine. Sign in to iTunes podcast select. I'm gonna take this off here just while I sign stuff in. Because I don't know what it's going to show you, basically, and I don't want to have wasted my time making this video. Try to remember my Apple ID password, which it seems that I have, because I now have a message with my two-factor authentication on it. Should you choose review? Of course I'm going to read these terms and conditions super thoroughly. We can't process your request. I said that I don't accept it. Oh, it worked that time. Right, click on the plus at the top left of the IP podcast connect. I have a horrible feeling that this guide is possibly not going to be so we've already deviated from what this guide says. It doesn't seem too difficult though, assuming this is going to work, which might be an assumption too far, but we will find out. Right, okay, so it's got some bits and bobs. All looks good. And when I say good, I mean looks like what we slung together. Yes. So I don't know how long it takes for a podcast to get actually onto the Apple podcast directory. I guess we will see. You've successfully submitted your podcast for review. Apple will send you an email once the review process is complete. So I guess at this point, that is that for the Apple podcast bit. I'm quite surprised that can't read your feed that none of that happened. So I think basically we're all good on that. So I guess what I didn't fully understand was, now hang on, if we just go to the website and have a little look-see. Oh, so it has come up. That's fine. And this is the podcast player that we went for previously. So hi, I'm Charles Gregg. Wow. This is not, in fact, the edited version of the podcast that I thought I'd uploaded. So, cringe. I'm sure the reviewers will be suitably impressed. I might quickly see if I can edit that down and make it not quite so lame. Yes, well, I might as well share that exciting experience with you. This is not really what I wanted to do. Right. How frustrating. Yes, so you want it to be the same file. Yes, release, yes. How extremely frustrating. Anyway, that was a little window into the creation of the podcast with Audacity. Let's get back on CyberDuck, switch out that file. Yes, I want to overwrite it. Alright, so now we might have some interesting stuff happen because this is going to not be the right length anymore. Hi, there we go. Hopefully that's not going to negatively impact the iTunes approval process. I assume it probably just does stuff so that makes sure you have a non-offensive image, that there's an actual MP3 there and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully that won't have impacted it too much. But there we go. It kind of shows that you can quickly sort that out. Please don't take how this looks as the best that either I can do or that you can do. It's obviously you've just seen me string that together. Right, so what does this say? Submit your podcast to Spotify. Shall we do that? Why the Jeff not? Submit your podcast submission, but it must be current podcast. You must be a current podcast hosting customer. If you are WordPress and PowerPress, MP3 audio. See, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to do that anyway. Anyway, let's not do that now because they've got some bit about their own hosting stuff there, which I'm not super interested in using at this point. Obviously, when my podcast becomes enormous and my mate hosting my thing can't deal with the massive amount of traffic that it's generating, then I'll have to look at something else, and maybe at that point they'll be straight on the I'll be straight on their hosting thing. I'm not going to buy any Ferraris just yet. I'm not convinced that I'm going to become a podcasting millionaire, but we will see. I wouldn't rule it out either. Being a millionaire seems like the kind of life that a big time player like myself should be aspiring to live. Right, anyway, so now it's just a case of waiting, but you could see that that's how you do it. Does it show up in here yet? Select a podcast. Web-friendly name. Your web-friendly name is used to identify a website. Twitch keyword community category. I obviously agree to those terms and conditions that I thoroughly read. For something timed out. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's things like that where it says timed out. I'm like, did it time out and still do it, and that's why the name is taken? Or there actually is another one with that name? We will find out. My podcast has been added. Not entirely sure what that's really gonna achieve for me. Directory listing. Why hasn't it got my picture? Description not available. I'm going to assume that's just because he hasn't like pulled it or something at this point, because we all saw that all that stuff was filled out. This is what the Jeff? Why is it asking me about iTunes? No, it's just. Well, I have to get approved for that first. Anyway, I don't think that this is particularly pertinent, unless that your main concern is being on the Blueberry podcast directory, which I'm sure whilst it's great and you might get some people listening to it, I think iTunes and maybe Google Play and stuff like that is the ones you'll be going for, or Acast maybe. And what I'll do is I'll have a little look into those and see what's what, see if I can get onto the Spotify as well. And then I just have to start making some actual podcasts and content that people will want to listen to, which will be real easy because of all the experience I have in banging out top quality content, as you can tell by this very video. Anyway, if you have any ideas for stuff that I can put onto this podcast or that kind of thing, hit me up. If this helped you out, press subscribe. If it didn't help you out, mug me off on the comments. Any of that sort of stuff. Cool. Anyway, this is going to be an absolute monster of a video, and I apologise to each and every one of you. If you got this far through, comment #gingerbeard, just so I know you got here.